Well, hi, very warm welcome to Dusty Shelf. So today, Hornby Dublo, 3-rail Duchess of Athol, and I paid 20 quid for this, and that's an awful lot of loco for £20. Now, normally with these, I would just do a very simple service and yeah, leave the patina on the body, but this body is far enough gone. You can see around the cylinders here and down the sides, it's far enough gone that I think this is the one that I'm going to repaint as wartime black. Now the tender's still in fairly good condition, but it is quite faded, so I think that can be painted as well. So I think yeah, the whole thing, I'll do a complete restoration on it and paint it up in wartime black, put some new decals on, and yeah, for 20 quid, like I say, yeah, I can't really go wrong with that, can you? Unbelievable. Right, let's drop the body off of this one. Oh, before I drop the body, let's go and show you it running. I mean, it is a runner. When I put it on the track, it does move back and forth. It's quite happy, but it does stick now and again, so it probably just needs a little service. I want to put this down on the test track, and you can see that it is a runner. It's just a little bit jerky. It has got caught a couple of times while I've been testing it. And it's one of those ones where I've now put the camera on and it's running absolutely beautifully, but you can see all the pitting all over it. I mean, the body's far enough gone that I'm not too worried about respraying this. So tender's in quite nice condition though. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame to paint that one over, but yeah, maybe I still have got another tender that isn't in quite such good condition, but definitely that body can be painted over. Right, let's pop the body off of this. Now, I did a wartime black mallard some time ago, and I was really pleased with it. It came out superbly, so it'd be quite nice to have one of these in a slightly different livery. I've got a few of these 3-rail Duchesses from Hornby Dublo in the collection anyway, so yeah, it'd be nice to have one a little bit different. Just get the screw off the front here. That's why it's poked through. Right. Okay, and the body should just lift off. Take the 2 pony trucks off because I think there's another screw under the back end of this, if I remember rightly. Oh no, I thought there was, but there's not. It is just a little bit of brute force to take that out. Yeah, I think that's worthy of a clean. I have actually got, where did I put it? A new body for it. So if this does go badly wrong, doesn't look particularly good, I can replace it with the Duchess of Montrose there, and I've got a nice, you know, reasonable condition tender to go with that body. So I can recover from this if it doesn't look any good, but I do think this is far enough gone. If you look at all the patina on the top there, it's, yeah, certainly had a bit of a tough life, this one. So yeah, worthy of a repaint. So all I'm going to do off camera, just go down inside, and I'm just going to bend all these tabs back and yeah, lift the handrails out. So once these tabs are bent back like so, they'll just pull through, as you can see. Remove both handrails, hopefully reuse those. Right, so I've bent those back. I'm just now lifting out the second of the handrails. There we go. So I'll keep those for cleaning, and yeah, this can go and yeah, go into the paint stripper. Don't think there's anything else to come off of there. The buffers are all moulded in, and yeah, get all this old paint off and see what we're working with. The tender, I'm actually going to drill out these 2 rivets. I've got replacement rivets to go in there. Get this apart, and then this can be sprayed up nicely as well. Well, I've got the body in the paint stripper and I've pulled apart the tender here. I'm going to turn my attention to the chassis, just give it a good clean and a service. Looking inside here, I'm surprised this is even running. Let's come through this side. Just take the magnet off quickly. There we go. Look at that in there. I'm surprised that's even running at all. What a mess. Yep, we'll soon give that a quick clear up. Let's put the brushes out. I mean, you see me do this many times on the channel. One brush there. Let's just push this one back so we can get this one out. I need something just to, a little bit of wire there. Just to hook the spring out. There we go. Back to one side. There's only half a spring in there. Oh, that'll be okay. And there's another bit of brush in there. So we've got two brushes. Not totally sure what that is in there. Anyway, let's get the armature out. And take this right back. It's got the lock ring on the inside. Yeah, a little bit of a mess, that one. It's showing a lot of life. Let me just get that bit of wire again and we'll see what's there's kind of a bit of brush or something caught in here. Yeah, the other half of a brush in there. That probably could do with a new spring by the look of it, and get rid of that broken bit of brush, because that's definitely not helping. I'm not actually going to strip this down, I don't think. I think I'll just give it a clean and then just repaint the front there. Maybe I'll go and give this a wash in soapy water first. I'll just take out this because it's got the little ball bearing inside, and see that's still in there. Actually, I don't even know if that's in. No, that's not in there. So we've got ball bearing to add into there, and that should hopefully put the lock ring back on top. Give this a good clean this off, new spring on the brush, and yeah, then clean the wheels, and this should be a lovely little runner. Right, let me go and give this a clean in soapy water. Well, I've given that a clean in some soapy water, and I've just gently wet and dried over the cylinders, ready for a repaint. This is my fiberglass pen, and I'm just going to go over the mechanism with this and bring this up quite nicely. Shouldn't need too much, to be honest. Just making sure that bring it up nice and shiny. Well, I've gone through and given most things a good clean. The armature's come up all right. It still looks really black around here, but I don't want to, you know what it's like, I don't want to do too much to it, because it's I'll end up breaking one of the wires or something. Now, I did find a little ball to go in the top of the, actually I'm going to put that in there now before I lose it, to go in the little part here. So this little ball goes in the top there. I've got some grease open. Just want a tiny bit of grease just to hold that in there so it stops floating around. There we go. All right, a little bit of grease on there. And then we can pick the ball up. And that can go in there and stay in there before I lose it. The one thing I don't have is a spare spring, which is rather frustrating. So I will need to get a spring for this. But let's drop the armature back in. That's cleaned up quite nicely. That's it. I can feel that the ball is in the base of it, if it does have one, but it's the way it's fitting in there, it feels right anyway. Now we can do this top one back in, and hopefully now the locking nut will go on the top rather than underneath. Let me just do this up. There we go, that's much better. Okay, and then the locking nut can sit on top as it should. I say that. Get it on there. No, I don't like that. I think what I'll do is just drop this back out. I'll put the nut on it from the other side and then wind it all the way to the top. That's better. And this can wind, can hold that there and then wind the screw right the way through like that. That's better. And then I can put this in rather than risk cross-threading it. Wind that down. Quarter a turn and just tighten the nut down. Okay, it's nice and free turning, and the armature's now sitting in the right place. I'm quite happy with that. Magnet, slide this back on and we can remagnetise the magnet. So I've got it round the wrong way, this way round. I can slide in like so, and then bring in the remagnetizer and just checking the polarity of the magnet. This way is north, so it goes in the machine facing north. All you do is put the magnet in between the two armatures on the machine, plug the power in like so, and we push the button and it just adds a new lease of life into the magnet on the model there. You can see it's really stuck to them now. All these years I've been switching my camera off and moving it away, and I accidentally did it the other day with the camera switched on, and it didn't seem to make any difference. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and remagnetise these on camera now. Put that nut back on there, and again I'm using the wrong tools for the job here, but just a pair of pliers to do that up. That's it. Okay, refitting the pickup, the centre pickup for the 3-rail. So I've given this just a little clean over, just got the worst of the muck off of it. This goes on top. Now with these, you need to make sure that the plates are around the right way, the springs are all around the right way. So I've got this plate around the wrong way. That's a good start. Let me just lift that back off. So I should have explained. So we've got spring that runs through the middle, and this goes over the top of the two cups either end, and then your plate sits on top. And I do think that goes around this way. Let's have a look, see if that's better. That's your insulation plate that stops it touching the chassis. So this now sits underneath quite neatly in there like that. And then to make sure the screw doesn't touch the chassis, there's a second insulation plate that goes on top like so. And then the nut and the pickup go on top of there. Now I'm not going to put the broken brush back in, but what I will do, I will just elongate this spring just a little bit. Now I will get another spring for this, you can see the difference. So it completely, you know, desperately needs a new spring in there, but for now this one will have to go back in because I don't have a replacement. As I say, I will get one, but for the sake of this video, while I'm doing it this evening, that's going to go back in there, and I'll just push the plug back in, and then this side, just make sure that's round the right way, everything's lined up, and then I can do that nut up just on the side there, like that. Perfect, and then this can just push back in there like that. Right, so that's essentially the motor back together. No suppressor on this one, it's been cut out at some point, but would have ran from here down to the front. I'm not worried about that, I'm just going to leave that off. And I'll probably cut this wire away actually, just so that there's nothing floating around in there. Let's get rid of that. I'll just cut that wire off. There's my cutters. Okay, so I still need to paint up the all the little bright work on here, and I'm probably going to just touch in through here. Actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Give this a clean. Just so I can get a little bit of the muck out from in between the wheels. Yeah, that's better. Much better. Let's do this side as well. Even with you know, toothbrush on this and giving it clean with soapy water, there's still areas where the muck's really ground in. That looks better. That looks much better. A little bit more presentable. And I've got some of the wheels to touch in. Next step is to oil the model. Going to give all of the bits of the motion a little oil. Probably should have given the bearings some more oil before I put this back together, but I can get in there and do those on there. And this side, and I should say I did clean the wheels off with the fiberglass pencil. Did that off a camera. They came up really nicely. Right, so that's back together. Let's go and give this a quick run on the track and check it's still working. Right, back on the track. You see it pulling backwards and forwards quite happily. Let's just try it on a very low speed. Yeah, it's not hesitating as it did before, so I'm quite happy with that. Right, next step, let's get this piston painted, touching the wheels and that, and yeah, once the body is out of the paint stripper, we'll have a look and see how clean that's come up. Well, I've got this with undercoat on. There's still a couple of blemishes in here that I'm just going to do a little bit of work on, but otherwise that's ready for a top coat. I've given that a first coat with a matte clear which has brought that up beautifully and stopped any scratches on there. Now, some names. So Princess Alexandra, I think I paid about 50p for these at one other train fair. And you can see here some decals, LMS decals, £3 I paid for these. And yeah, let's get these added on. Going to go with the yellow letters, I think, or the yellowish letters. So we want an LMS for the tender, so that'll be these ones on here. Not too bad, nice and straight. Okay, let's try the other side. Right, well I'm going to carry on and get the rest of these decals on and go and give it another dust over with some clear coat just over the top of the transfers when they're all on and nice and dry. Well, that's come out beautifully. I've put the transfers on there, got them on the front as well, and then dusted it back over with some clear coat. So ready to put the handrails back in. Now these, all I've done is gone over them just with a little bit of wet and dry, just to take the old tarnish off of them, and then these will sit back down the side like so. So I need to get those back on, then paint up the buffer beams in red, this one here and one on the front there, and then ready for final assembly. Well, I've finally got the handrails back on. I did manage to scratch a couple of places, but I've touched those in. You can see how I've painted up the buffer beam on the front there and on the rear. Now I'm just going to take the paint off the facing surface of the buffers just so they're back to silver. And then the final job, I'll just put my Princess Alexandra nameplates. I'll just glue those on the side and get it all reassembled. Well, I'm rather pleased with how that's turned out. That's gone from a bit of a scrap heap loco with a very badly pitted and damaged body. I paid £20 for the loco, £3 for the transfers, 50p for the nameplates, and just used a little bit of the paint off the shelf and got a really nice little runner there on the 3-rail track. And hopefully this shows that yeah, model railways don't have to be expensive. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up, and why not check out the channel, lots on there, and if you can subscribe, I'll be very grateful. And with that, we'll leave this one there. I'll just say thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.